Welcome back. This is the Angular team panel. What's the hashtag again for people who want to ask questions who haven't done it yet?
AC16 panel.
AC16 panel. So if you have a question, and I have 2 microphones. This is embarrassing. Here. Josh, you have the microphone. Somebody handed it to me. Okay, AC16 panel. If you haven't asked any questions yet, we have looked through the questions asked so far. And Ed, Josh, you're gonna send questions to us.
Yep.
And I will choose who should answer.
So we've got a list of ones that we pulled together from the day, but we're going to be keeping an eye on Twitter up here. So as you're asking them in real time, and if you want to do follow-up questions, you can do that, and we'll get them over to the team. All right. Should we get started with a hard one?
Yes.
Okay.
Make it a hard one. Yeah, a hard one.
Yeah, okay. Great talks by men and women over 2 days, but not much gender balance in attendees. Oh. Thoughts on how to improve this as a community?
This is a hard one for me. As somebody to pick a hard one, we have all these people here, and you're picking one. Well, I can answer for Angular, and maybe we'll throw it to the organizers as well. But I think this is a problem that all of tech has, and I think that we see the numbers of attendees changing when we see the representation within the community changing. And there are some things that we can do and are doing to affect that. One is having more speakers who are high-quality technical speakers who are also women presenting, I think, does send a message to people who imagine themselves as our perhaps future speakers going, oh, this is somebody who resembles me, I could do that too, and I think it's really important. And kudos to the organizers for having picked really a large range of really excellent talks that are not limited by gender, and so I think that's really helped. I'm leading something called NG-Include, which you can find NG-Include at googlegroups.com if you're interested in increasing diversity and representation within Angular. Not just women, but people from all kinds of backgrounds that we don't see in tech, which are maybe not as visible as gender or skin color, but people who come from economically disadvantaged situations, who maybe they're the first person in their family to go to university. These are people we also don't see enough of in tech. And so I'm really interested in changing this balance for all of Angular. And I think eventually we'll see that start to change at the conference level. I don't know, that was sort of rambling. Do you have any thoughts at the conference level? Is Ruth here? Ruth's not around. Pete?
I think we're just looking to make it as welcoming as possible as well, and the community is already very welcoming, but just making sure we're on top of that and that it's a safe environment for everyone.
Definitely. All right.
I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's attended the conference. We've talked over and over again about the code of conduct at every opportunity, and I think we've done a really good job as a group of speakers and also as a group of attendees to really make the whole of this conference very welcoming and safe place for everyone. So thank you to all of you out there and here.
Okay, next question. Can we extend Angular CLI with add-ons?
Send this to Rob. Rob, Angular CLI question?
Not yet, but it's very much on our agenda. We want to make sure that we do it properly. Right now, we're very much focused on kind of the core experience for developers getting started with Angular. But certainly the CLI team is planning on a whole suite of add-ons for everything from different CSS preprocessors to different deployment pipelines, all kinds of clever things. So it's coming for sure.
All right, thank you. Okay. Should we expect Angular 3 in a few years, or do you believe that it's better to just evolve the current version?
Igor. Where's Igor? Igor.
Yeah, so we have a lot of discussion going on about this right now, but one thing is clear. We want the framework to evolve. We don't want the framework to be stagnant. So there will be future versions of Angular, and we already kind of hinted that we are setting this cadence, not only for Angular itself, but for the whole community to expect releases at regular intervals. We're talking about 6 months intervals, the important thing here is to talk about what does it mean to have a major version. It's not about going from Angular 1 to Angular 2. It's more like going from Angular 1.4 to Angular 1.5. And in addition to what we do in Angular 1, we're also thinking about tools that will make the upgrades much easier. We don't want all the APIs in the framework, so there will be some removal and breaking changes, but we're very sensitive about how we're going to execute these and how will they affect the whole ecosystem, because we want the ecosystem to thrive.
But Igor, we could always just skip Angular 3 and go to Angular 4.
Nope. Don't say that out loud.
might happen.
All right. If you could go back in time and do one thing differently during Angular 2 development, what would it be? Hindsight is beautiful.
Mishka? Gaze back in time.
Wow, gaze back in time. Actually, we were talking about it last night at dinner. There's this thing called Osborne effect. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So I think we scared the community a little too much with our vision of what Angular 2 would have been, and so I think people a little freaked out about the fact that we're changing everything and we're not going to support Angular 1, etc. So I think we could have handled that a little better. And I understand people's hesitation now with, when the next version of Angular would be. But again, as Igor pointed out, the versions, the deltas would be much, much smaller than what's and the huge gap that was between Angular 1 and Angular 2. Plus, there's going to be deprecation strategy, et cetera. So going forward, I don't think it's going to be the same way. I mean, it's going to be a much smoother ride for you guys.
Thank you. Okay. When will we have proper examples for web workers?
Rob, I think. Rob?
Yeah. So I think web workers we still classify as experimental. I think it's one of those things that now I think with the rest of the framework is stable. Web workers are one of the things that I know Mishka is really stoked about getting into.
So web workers work today, right?
Yep.
There's no reason why web workers don't work. What? Well, it's schema, yes. Details. Minor details. In general, web workers, sorry, now, so are we talking about web workers or web components?
Web workers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm answering a different question.
Do you want to start again?
Never mind.
Something with web, though, right?
Something with web, yes.
I think that's something that we will absolutely work on very rapidly here. I think we've had some interest inside of Google from some teams who want to use web workers. So I think that'll be one of these things we can focus on now that we've shipped the whole rest of the framework. Soon.
Okay, this is a really important one. Are we going to create a Twitter account for Mishko's beard to compete with Jeff Cross's beard?
This is not a beard, this is a goatee. That's a beard.
We'll start it from Mishko's knees, right? Mishko's bee's knees.
You can join in too.
I don't think anybody can really compete with Jeff's beard.
So my beard does have a Twitter account, but I don't know who runs the Twitter account. So it's really outside of our control what beard accounts appear on Twitter.
Okay, what's the roadmap for Angular 1?
Roadmap for Angular 1, Igor? Oh, Angular 1, sorry. Pete.
The roadmap is going to be more clear later on in the year, maybe, once we start to see what the uptake of Angular 2 final is. Certainly, we're going to continue developing Angular 1 for some time to come. There are lots and lots of applications out there using it. The big overarching principle for Angular 1 from now on is going to be trying to make it easier for you to get from Angular 1 to Angular 2. So any features and improvements that we make, we'll always have that in the background. We are hoping to roll out a 1.6 version in the next month, couple of weeks, hopefully, which will have a few breaking changes, but they're fairly minor. And then following the similar kind of cadence to what Igor was talking about with Angular 2, we're going to have 6 monthly rolling breaking changes going forward, so you can expect 1.7 in the spring.
I think as well, you and I have certainly talked about things that are in Angular 2 today that we could backport, things like HTTP, things
exactly,
like that.
Yeah, so that was kind of covered in my overarching strategy. But yeah, so things like the HTTP, we're definitely going to look at the router and not the router. And obviously, with those things comes things like observables. We'd like to make that the Angular one more observable-ish.
Okay, so this one's for the Material team. When will Material 2 have layouts for responsive design?
Jeremy.
So we're still figuring out what we want to do for layouts with Material 2. We are meeting right after we get back from Europe to try to talk about this. The components themselves aren't going to be coupled to any particular layout system. We want to make it so that you can use whatever layout system or grid system you want with them. We know a lot of people really like the layout system that's in Material 1, so we're also trying to figure out a way to make it so that you can go forward with something similar.
Awesome. Is there any possibility of getting lazy module loading in Angular 1?
No.
Next question.
If we go through them this quickly, we're going to run out.
Okay, so we talked about this over and over again for since Angular 1.2, I would say. It's just really, really hard to do it in a way that's not going to break someone. You know, there are things out there like the lovely Olivier's, forgotten what it's called now. OC Lazy Load, yeah. It works, for sure, and people use it. But if we did something like that in the core, we would definitely be able to break a whole load of people, and then we would spend so long trying to fix every possible corner case. There's so many ways for you to shoot yourself in the foot. So if you're really careful, then OC Lazy Load is great, and you can get it working. But we feel, especially given that Angular 2 is now here, which if you really need that kind of functionality, it's available. It's not something that we should be spending our resources on. Sorry.
Another serious one. Do you guys think Elon Musk will send Angular to Mars?
I'm a big fanboy of Elon. I actually was watching his going to Mars thing last night because I couldn't sleep. Thank you. I certainly hope so, but I mean, cannot influence what Elon does, Musk does.
If anybody here knows Elon Musk, we should go die of happiness to have dinner with him sometime.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Why does it take more than 1 month to merge Look Good to Me PRs?
Well, look, we were pretty busy shipping Angular 2, and in the last month and a half, I would say we did prioritize pretty much everything that was not necessary for shipping. This included reviewing PRs that were not critical. Right now, we are in planning phases for the next development, and we are setting up our processes so that things like this don't happen, and we're more responsive with GitHub. So expect that this is going to change now that Angular 2 is out.
Do you want to add the Google 3? The syncing process.
What about it?
What makes it complicated, right?
Oh, the thing, yeah, we should clarify. Google uses Angular, obviously, and the version that Google uses is the current master, the thing that is merged on GitHub, which means that anything that is merged into the master repository must be good enough for Google to use it, because otherwise we are breaking applications. There's only one version of Angular at Google, and it's the one that is on GitHub. So as soon as we merge something into GitHub, we pull it into Google, and all of the applications built with Angular are starting to use it. This is great because it makes sure, this enables us to validate that Angular is working really well for big applications, big teams. But it also means that we need to be very conservative and not just merge things nilly-willy. So it takes some time to merge things, and we need to be careful about how it's done, and we're setting up processes on how we can do this more efficiently.
How can community members help with the process? How can they contribute?
One good way is if you are putting something in GitHub, be conscious about what you are trying to communicate. If it's an issue, be clear about what the problem is. Don't try to suggest solution. Many people come and say, this is what you should do. And I'm like, but what is the problem? We need to understand what the problem is in the first place. And also, when you're sending changes, please make sure that you have tests that the CI is passing, because that's the first check. If the CI is red, then you're just going to waste a lot of our time looking at something that's not going to work. So please just, and we love your contributions, but we also like contributions that can be easily accepted by the team.
All right. Will you be publishing times for expecting certain features? Until now, we normally don't know.
Yes, we're working on this, and you should expect some blog posts about this in the next week or two.
How can I get ng-store and lazy loading working together?
Mr. Rob, do you have a microphone? Oh, you do.
So this is like the 8th time today I've been asked this question, I think. We actually brought this up last week with the NGRX team. And so we have a design. We actually have an open issue on NGRX Store you can have a look at. It's kind of a non-trivial thing to do because NGRX Store has been like out and stable for 8 months or so we don't want to break everybody on our end as well. But it's definitely something we know that people want to do. It's something that makes sense. And we just want to make sure that what we do implement doesn't break everybody who's using it out in production today. So soon, though. And if you have an idea, then please contribute to the issue. We'd love to have feedback on it. So.
All right. Keep the questions coming, guys. I'm keeping a close eye on this. Okay, since material is still in alpha, what should we use until final?
Jeremy?
So if you want to use material now, you can if you have a tolerance for
Adventure.
some churn as we're still going through alpha, and a lot of times we're still figuring out what is the best API for a component or the best structure or things like that. So there's some change there. And if you're also tolerant to there not being all of the components yet, because if you don't use them, we won't get any feedback and we won't know what to change. But aside from that, there's also ng Bootstrap. Pavel is here somewhere and he's been working very hard on that. And they have their stable version. And there's also other component libraries. I've seen people have Angular 2 apps working with Polymer elements in them. I've seen people will have Angular 2 apps working with Material Design Lite components in them. So existing component libraries still work as well.
Can we get one word from each of the team on the stage of how they feel now Angular 2 is being released? Go.
Why don't you start with the microphone at one end and then just pass it down?
Relieved?
I'm just jet lagged.
Relieved, definitely relieved.
I'm kind of hungry. I guess relieved and yeah.
You're not allowed to use the same
happy
word every
to
time.
focus on material. That's way more than one word.
Ecstatic. Getting my CV ready.
Yay! Just getting started.
I even have a microphone. I can't even think of a word. I'll think of one. I get the last say. Somebody else. You have a microphone.
You get the last one?
I'll get the last one. Yeah, because I haven't thought of a word yet.
I'm going to say excited because my job didn't really get to start until Angular 2 was released, so excited.
You know, I am relieved, excited, and scared at the same time because, like, this is where like the crowds will show up, right? And lots of issues will be filed, and we're gonna have to keep on attack of it. So it's gonna be lots of. What?
One word.
One word.
Fine.
Eager. I feel eager. Also excited.
I will say I feel animated.
Oh.
And I'll say listening.
That's why you're a developer.
I can't think of a word that means looking forward to the future, but if I could think of a word, that's the word I would pick. Forward-looking. Forward-looking sounds so very like I'm going to give you a speech now on how to optimize your optimistic. Yes.
Optimistic, there you go.
Yeah. Maybe I'm even ambitious. Somebody should ask another question.
Okay. Could you give a few words to encourage companies to migrate from Angular 1 to Angular 2?
Speed.
Size.
Okay. Give that back to Jules.
Toolability.
Those were 3 good words.
Type safety. Large teams.
Flexibility.
Security.
We don't have to stick with the one word.
You really don't want to hear that. Mobile. Desktop. Web.
Yeah, exactly. Platform.
Buzzword.
Synergy.
Okay. When do you think that support for Angular 1.x will end?
as I said yesterday, as soon as the majority of developers are over, but that doesn't mean that Angular 1 will not work anymore. So I don't got anything.
Can I be devil's advocate? What is
When
majority?
finds a
Like
new job.
51%?
What is what?
Majority.
Yeah, 51%. Let's call it right now.
Are you
I'm just
serious?
kidding. No, no, no. I'm totally kidding.
Can we not discuss the election?
Code of conduct. So what does it mean to stop supporting? You know, it's a tricky question. You know, there will be a gradual decline with well-defined points, perhaps. But it's definitely not on the very short term. So we've got a long time to go.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that there are lots of teams at Google, literally thousands of applications that are using Angular 1 today, and they still expect support from us, and we need to deliver on this.
Great. Shai would like to know why you keep staring at him, Jeff. All right. Any plans or ideas for more integrations to web components?
That's the one I was answering. So we support web components in the sense that you can use a web component inside of Angular today. It should work. We have examples of it, like for example inside of Angular I/O, where we're using it. We have other customers that are using it. The templates from the day one were designed with web components in mind. So everything is lined up where web components should be first-class citizens within the browser. As a matter of fact, the framework doesn't really differentiate whether it's a web component or it's a native element such as a div input or a span. The thing that we would like to do to make it even better in the future is currently Angular 1 has a schema of the DOM. And if you type in some new property name or new tag name that Angular doesn't know about, it gives you a useful error message saying like, this doesn't exist, but with web components, this is a problem, so we have to kind of turn that feature off while you're using web component. So what we'd like to do in the future is actually have a web component be able to declare a schema so that we can actually type check the web component just as well as we can type check the rest of the DOM.
Great. With the adoption of Angular 2 and the underlying technology and patterns, TypeScript, classes, DI, and zones, how will it affect JavaScript, the language?
Wow, that's a really narrow question. Mishko, you want to?
So we're talking to TC39 about Zone.js. We're seeing if we can standardize it. That's an ongoing discussion going forward. Let's see, what other questions were there?
So actually for maybe for TypeScript, I can't speak for the TypeScript team, of course, but I know that the various types in JavaScript teams are talking to each other. So the Closure team is talking to the TypeScript team, and I think the Flow team also talks to the TypeScript team, and they all talk with each other. And we're, from the Angular side, we're trying to facilitate this a bit too. And so we might at least find some agreement on type declarations, at least on d.ts files, and on what these types mean in those files. It's not necessarily going to become a standard. I don't think that a type system in the browser necessarily makes sense. Like, you're not going to get class cast exceptions in your Chrome DevTools window, but there's some convergence is probably going to happen there.
Great. How will you manage support as you move to major releases every 6 months?
Igor?
How will we manage the support? Or
Yeah.
not sure what that means.
Very carefully.
Very carefully.
So the whole move to Semver was about having a clear guidelines on communication about what's in releases. Semver says that there are three digits. The last one talks about when the new bug fixes are added to the release. The middle digit talks about features being added that are still backwards compatible, and the first digit is for major versions where not only new features are available, but also there are potential for breaking changes. So our goal is to set cadence for the community, set the expectations. This is how we're going to develop Angular forward so that there are no surprises. Everybody knows that this is coming. This is how we're going to develop Angular. And also have a clear deprecation strategy. So when there are breaking changes, we need to tell you guys, like, we are changing this. This is why we are changing it. This is what we expect from you to do on your end. We're going to try to provide you with tools whenever possible. And we're giving you time to do migration, because we know that any kind of breaking change really makes it impossible to have a thriving ecosystem. So we need to be careful about this and give you enough time for everybody to migrate over. The deprecation strategy we are talking about is for any kind of breaking change wherever possible, have time of 2 major releases. So in most cases, you will have up to 1 year to migrate, which is plenty even for enterprise customers. And with tooling, many of these migrations are going to be very trivial.
I think it might also help to kind of demonstrate and talk about what we've done so far. So last week, we actually shipped our first patch release and our first beta for a miner, right? So in that release, we actually released a beta for Angular 2.1, where we included a optimistic strategy for lazy loading. So that's in the router. So right, that's an additive feature that shouldn't break anyone, but that will be out as soon as Angular 2.1 is available for everybody.
And going forward, we're going to document this in a blog post, and where it's going to make more sense. But we want to make sure that all of the new features that are added to the framework have some time to mature, so that we are not just releasing features and 1 week later we realize, oh, there's a better way to do this. So this is why we're going to be releasing beta releases for all the minor versions, so that we have time to process feedback from you guys and improve features before the APS become stable and are released as a minor release.
Okay, so it's another one for the team again, so we're going to hand it round. So the question is, what are you excited about working on next, and why? So you've got a bit more than just one word this time.
Oh, I can actually answer this one right away. I have lots of words. So I am super excited about working. We met today with the folks who are leading our localization efforts, and we're working on bringing developer content to many languages other than English. You might have noticed if you scroll down to the bottom of Angular IO on the right in the footer, you can choose Chinese. And so we have an entire localization of the site in Chinese that's been built by folks in that local community. And so I'm super excited about bringing more languages.
I'm super excited about enterprise business. Before I joined the Angular team, my whole career, and I don't want to tell you how many years that is, was with enterprise. So I'm looking forward to it being final now, which means a lot more big businesses will start adopting it. And my passion is to help big businesses solve developer problems. So that's what I'm super stoked to do.
I'm going to let the rest of the team speak for themselves, but I'm excited about that the core of the system is really nice. I really enjoy the way it turned out, which means that it's going to allow us to really grow it in a lot of different directions, and I'm going to let the rest of the guys tell you about how exactly it's going to go.
Optimization. So I'm excited about rolling out the full renaming and making apps smaller than 50K on the normal case, and making that really easy to use.
10K, remember the cake?
10K for Hello World, but your actual app is probably not. If you have a button and an image of the button.
I would say service worker, but I'll leave that for Alex to talk about. I'm excited for Universal, for us to, as a team, be more involved with Patrick and Jeff and help to get that out to the world.
So for me, it's obviously animation, so I'm excited for... I'm excited for the query mechanisms and the routable animations and integrating the CSS parser, and then in a few months' time, getting into layouts and animations with those.
So I'm really excited that there are thousands or hundreds of thousands of developers right now that are trying and building things with Angular 2, but there's still millions of developers that haven't even started yet. So I want to kind of go back to a lot of those people and understand their experiences, understand their needs, and then make sure that we're addressing them and making sure that both the transition process from Angular 1 to Angular 2, as well as all of our tooling and kind of all of our stories end to end are very smooth developer journeys.
I'm looking forward to refocusing to material for a bit and working on the select, and also there's a lot more improvements coming to forms.
There's been a lot of things on the protractor side that we've sort of had in the queue for a while in terms of cleanup and improving debuggability that I think are really important to users that I'm excited to get back to. And outside of our control, direct control, there's a bunch of improvements to Selenium, the underlying framework, coming in for various browsers, so I'm really excited for that to become more stable.
From the sort of development point of view, I'm super excited to start really making the reactive story of Angular really, really awesome. From a DA point of view, I'm excited to actually go out and talk to people and stop having to answer the question, when is Angular 2 coming out? So I get to go talk to companies now and say, hey, it's out. We're going to help you build really awesome stuff. So I'm excited about that.
I'm really excited about working on the component toolkit on which Material is built on top of, a common code that all the components sharing that handles low-level stuff that everybody else can use to build their own components. I think that will be really, really useful for the community at large.
Yeah, as Jeff said, service worker for me, I think we've only begun to scratch the surface of what it can do and what kind of optimizations we can get. So I'm really looking forward to working on that.
I have Mike. I'm really excited about getting Angular 1.6 out and seeing what people do with it. From an Angular 2 point of view, I wanted to mention, although I'm not actually working on it, I'm really excited to see how the Angular CLI tool is going to grow over the next few months, because I think there's going to be some really exciting stuff coming there. And a third thing, is I'm excited about starting to work on Angular 2017, but more to come on that later.
Angular or Angular Connect?
Oh, Angular, sorry. It's a very big version change, yeah. Angular Connect 2017. Yeah, we're not just going to go straight to 4.
We should do better. Cars are released with the 1 year ahead, so it's like Angular 2018 or something. Anyway, I would just like to get some more sleep. That would be good. But no, seriously, I'm really looking forward to, now that we have the underlying foundation, really see the ecosystem around Angular 2 take off. And I think this is going to be the thing that's going to make the biggest difference for everybody here.
So I'm excited about that everybody of you writes things declaratively, and I can still optimize the compiler underneath you without you knowing it. So my goal is to get even faster, to make your applications faster and smaller. And we have actually concrete plans for that.
I want to add that I'm also very excited that every morning I get to wake up and work with this amazing set of people.
All right. Could you recommend us the best resources, websites, courses, books, etc., to learn Angular 2 the right way?
Jules?
Blog.victorsavkin.com.
Wait, that's not actually his blog, is it? Victor, what is it is vsavkid.com, right? I don't know, somewhere victorsavkin.com. It's like, I don't know, where is he?
Where is Victor?
Well, then don't go to his blog. Jules,
but really, like I said in the keynote, the absolute best place to get started is at angular.io/docs. Because we keep those up to date. We have a wonderful team with Ward Bell and Naomi running that to get you guys great content that the team believes in. And then past that, if you go to angular.io/resources, there is an entire educational section there where you can find all of our partners who both have books and training classes and on-site workshops and off-site workshops and everything you can imagine. So those are the two best places to go, angular.io/docs and angular.io/resources. Resources. Am I saying it inappropriately?
Just the sources. I can read the source. You can read the source code. There's always the source code, right?
I'm dead serious though. Like, people ask me for examples of tests, and I tell them the source code all the time.
Okay, and possibly another question for Jules, but I'll let Naomi decide. How can big businesses get help from the team?
Jules Crummer at google.com.
It's very concise.
Well, actually, I should not just say that. So
Too late?
What?
Is it too late?
Don't give them my email.
Crap. No, really. Me, Rob, and Steven are more than excited to talk to big businesses. I think it's super important, especially right now, for us to get in touch with big businesses who are trying Angular 2, because it's going to really help us influence the team with the direction that that Angular takes going forward. I think there's already been a number of big businesses who've given us a number of pieces of feedback that have reflected what you see in Angular 2 Final. But there are also other places to go and get help. Our Google developer experts are amazing, and most of them also work with big businesses and are there to do consulting, as well as some of our other consulting practices like Wrangle.io, and you can find all of those as well. There's a category for them at angular.io/resources.
Who names?
You can't read the source code for that.
Who names the Angular versions? Igor. Can we get involved in that?
Yeah, in the past we actually did take several suggestions from the community through Twitter or various ways. And while we were not using the code names in the beta and alpha, and for the alpha and beta releases, I would really like to come back to that now that we are stable. And if you have suggestions, maybe tweet at us, and we will collect your feedback and consider those code names for the next releases.
How many of you had to Google proprioception?
All right. Do you think NGRX/NG2 Redux will get to be the default way to build Angular 2 apps?
Rob? Yeah, it's you.
Maybe. I think that for most apps, it's a perfectly sensible way of doing things. Clearly, I think that, because I helped write it. I think that there's a lot to be said for the way that these projects think about state, but I don't think that it's the only way to think about state. And I think that this is JavaScript, and there's a new thing like every 6 hours. So it's entirely possible that next week there'll be something better. But I think for a lot of people that I talk to, I think that when they get their brain wrapped around the idea of how this works, it makes a lot of sense to them. It's a lot of the same stuff we like, type safety and keeping things unified and understanding applications and all that. It works pretty well, and I think that the fact that it works so well in Angular and the fact that it works so well in React is a pretty good indicator that it's a good pattern in general. So.
Okay, guys, we've still got another at least 10 minutes, so keep the questions coming in. Next question was, what about the Dart version?
What about the what?
Dart version.
What about the Dart version?
What about
Dart.
it? What about
Angular
it?
Dart.
What about the Dart version? So the Angular source code had, we were generating the Dart version from Angular source code. The Dart version has split off, which means they took the source code and they're now maintaining it. This allows
talk a little
both.
bit about why we did this. Like we had this brilliant idea at the beginning that because we knew we had users on both the Dart and the JavaScript side, and we thought that well, if we wrote the code in a way that allowed us to build both from a common source, then that would be easier. And what we learned was it was way, way harder. And so by splitting the code base, it makes it much easier for people to contribute in both languages.
And we should say that there's now a Dart Gitter channel. There's a whole kind of Dart community starting up. So if you're interested in the Dart stuff, then there's a community there for you for sure.
Angular Dart Twitter feed.
All right. How is NG Forward, NG Upgrade progressing? It's much more likely that we'll adopt Angular 2 if we can incrementally migrate.
So NG Forward?
It's not web workers.
NG Upgrade, yes. So NG Upgrade allows you to mix Angular 1 and Angular 2 applications. Currently, it only works on JIT mode, but we're looking forward. We're trying to figure out how to make it also work in AOT mode. The restriction is essentially that every framework can only own, or rather every element in a DOM can only be owned by one framework. So if you kind of just start with that particular point of view, you realize that you cannot mix, for example, directives from 2 different frameworks on a single element, but you can do it on 2 separate elements. It currently works, I think, rather well. We can bridge both the components as well as the injector items. That means that you can take an Angular 1 application, embed Angular 2 inside of it, and embed Angular 1 component inside of it, and back to Angular 2, and so on and so forth. I'm saying it's a good idea for you to go back and forth, but it is fully supported. What other part of the question did I miss?
The other half of the question was about NG Forward, yeah? So NG Forward was a thing that I spoke about last year at Angular Connect, which alongside NG Upgrade was another alternative strategy. And the idea of NG Forward was that it would provide sugar on top of a pure Angular 1 app, which made it look like you were writing Angular 2 code. That particular project has kind of gone a little bit quiet. partially because some of the really cool developers like Mike Ryan ended up writing all the NGRX stuff. But there's another project out there called NG Metadata, which is kind of picked up from where that left off. It's definitely worth having a look at if that's a strategy you want to take.
This is actually another place where I think now that we're in final, we will get a lot more feedback, and we invite that feedback from you. We have a lot internally of people using NG Upgrade, and so we have those use cases. Last week, we got a lot more feedback from some businesses that are now starting to try it because we're in final, so don't hesitate to reach out if you find something in NG Upgrade that we should be looking at.
Do we really have no questions on testing and forms? I'm kind of disappointed. Yeah, what did you do with the testing questions?
Oh, did you want to talk about?
Oh, sorry, is my microphone on?
No, they're probably in here. I'm digging around as quickly as I can. What is the official name of Angular 2? I've heard both just Angular and Angular 2.
Igor would really like to answer this one.
I really want to answer this one. It's just Angular. We dropped the JS a long time ago, but it just lingers. You know, people got attached to JS. We on the team call it just Angular, and that's how it's going to be going forward. And
Is it
hopefully,
www.justangular.com?
oh, I should get that.
Too late. Too late.
So we're trying to be consistent on the team, and if you want to help us, it would be great if you updated your slides or presentations or projects by dropping the JS. Thanks.
How about support for small businesses?
Oh, sure. I know I've said big businesses. I love small businesses just as much. I hate the word enterprise because enterprise seems to indicate big businesses, and I've been trying to switch to just the word businesses, so I really do mean any size business.
I mean, I think one of the things that we're trying to do that takes into account all kind of developers and all businesses of all sizes is that we want you to be able to build an Angular application, and then because of the way that we've guided you and the way that we've taught you and the way that we let you do things with the API, it's easy to scale. So whether you start as a small business or you end as a big business, that you should be able to build Angular applications in the same way.
So,
Wait. You have to speak into the microphone, Martin.
What if you start as a big business and then end up as a small business?
It's not our fault.
so someone wants to know, how on earth does Kara type that fast?
The chicken can answer. If you don't want, do you want to answer, or we could address it to the chicken? Your choice.
I'm so confused. Okay, the chicken can answer.
Kara enjoys drinking lots of coffee.
Know your ID, I guess is all.
You are actually typing now, right? You're not. This is not pre-recorded, correct?
That'd be crazy hard to do.
Lots of practice.
Next question.
Yeah, lots of practice writing code.
I know Kara practices these live demos dozens of times before getting on stage.
It's not like I'm conceiving the idea as I go. Like, the dog pictures are there, guys.
What obvious question did we fail to ask?
When is Angular 2 going to be released?
When is it? We need Brad to answer that.
Brad, should we ask Jules, or should we ask the chicken?
The chicken.
The chicken. Haven't you been paying attention? It's already out. It was Jules' birthday, and we shipped it.
I have an obvious.
That was really weird.
I have an obvious question. What is a chicken doing on the stage?
You will find out later, Mishko.
That's for me to know and you to guess.
My question is, has Naomi had too much coffee?
Maybe not enough sleep. It's possible.
Okay.
We can kill some time with like another team-wide question, something
How
like
about computer jokes?
Oh yeah. So until we get more questions, like Mishko and I can fill space with some programming jokes. So, are you ready? You ready?
Or can we go round and ask what everyone's nicknames are in the team?
8 bytes walk into a bar. They go up to the bartender and say, "Make us a double." Yeah, you do one.
How do functions break up?
They stop calling each other. Oh, well, why did they stop calling each other?
Oh, I knew this one.
They have constant arguments.
I think
When people ask like what it's like to work on the Angular team, this is what it's like to work on the Angular team.
This is why it took so long to get Angular 2 released.
You'll also note Rob needed 2 mics to answer that question.
Yeah, they turned this one off, so.
I think that was probably a great way to end this. So thank you very much for answering all our questions and for being here. Thank you.